Ahoy!
Hello! Welcome to episode number 2
of Inspiration Education. Woot woot.
I think we totally just look like big nerds right now.
I don't care. That's awesome. It's Friday and we're excited.
By the way, it's Friday. Yay.
Cool.
So, episode number 2 of what we're doing here, and we have a new place that we're going to take you to. Still the same girls' trip from this last summer, but in a new situation, a new environment.
So the new environment we are taking you to are the tide pools that are in Monterey Bay, California. So just off of Pacific Grove, near Lover's Point. So if any of you have ever been there, but what makes it famous, that's where John Steinbeck and his friend Ed Ricketts prowled around and collected critters. And I know it's right near Cannery Row, so there's all sorts of literary context for this place. But on this particular trip, we focused a little bit more on the science.
Yeah, we did. And so, of course, we're going to give you a debrief at the end after you watch some of the snippets from the tide pooling. But I think our big takeaway for this episode is what we teachers out there like to call student-centered learning.
So we're not going to tell you anything. What is student-centered learning? What should it look like? And we want you to get what you're going to get out of the video, and then you can compare what you think after we give you our debrief.
Yeah, super fun. And I do just want to give you this disclosure. You're getting ready to watch me be really tired. It was 6 in the morning.
Yeah.
I don't think we went to bed until I don't know,
pretty late the night before.
Very late the night before. So I'm as I'm talking, but that's okay.
But the role she played was kind of cool in that she was the outside observer of the learning experience, and then me being the marine biologist, all you're gonna see is me being really nerdy.
Super nerdy. But it's fun. Okay. So we'll be back.
Good morning.
Good morning. So here we are at the beach, just 5 minutes from Asilomar. Today is Thursday, and we are getting ready to go tide pooling. That is how we're going to start our morning. The lowest, Meg should be here to help me with this. But basically the tide is out super far. At its peak it's at 6:30 in the morning, so it is currently 6 o'clock in the morning right now, so that we can make the most of our time. Check this out. Here we are. We are over here putting on our wetsuit bottoms and our booties, and we are going out that direction. Here we are at the tide pool. Channy's going nuts. She's nerding.
Out already. Here we go.
There's the other ones out there having a good time, getting distracted before they can get all the way out. So much to look at. Look at all those mussels.
Little crab mitten. Come here, Crabby.
So cute.
Crabby.
Look at that closed
Now,
sea anemone right there.
look how that star can vary. Whoa. Right? They can be tan, purple. Oh my goodness.
It's a miniature.
It's so cute.
They stick to you. Oh, no, my finger's inside of that.
Oh no.
Maybe I can pull it out, but that's so cool,
Does
man.
it sting?
No. Feels like little suction cups.
Oh, wow. Chan said their stingers don't penetrate the human skin.
This is well worth it if we can get it. All right, come here, little man.
Oh, my Lord, so unenjoyable. But she's enjoying it.
Oh, I got it. Come here.
Oh.
Come here.
will do.
So that's a shell?
Okay.
Oh, what? So it does not have a shell?
It does have a shell, but it's covered with all of this mantle. It's called the mantle. So this is, yeah, so his antennae are under, if this girdle right here, his antennae are right here. Okay, but his shell is underneath this mantle. So right here is where the keyhole is, and you can kind of see maybe if he'll relax, it'll open up.
What?
His gills come out that hole, I think.
Oh.
Okay, but anyway,
Wow, looks like
he'll suction pretty good to you if you let him.
It does look like a mango. Wait, try suctioning on you. I want to see. Oh,
Try
okay.
suctioning on you. That's a nice find. That's a good one.
Is he suction?
That's a
Yeah.
that's a big mollusk.
Yes.
He just suctions. Oh. Ew.
That's a big
What
snail.
if I just
It's basically a big snail.
Yep.
just let him suction?
Wait, I just want to see if he suction.
Does he leave underwater snail tracks?
Not that I know of.
It's so slimy.
So funny.
Have you guys seen the variation in seaweed? The seaweed diversity here is pretty cool.
Whoa!
Is it?
Let's get your sweater wet, if you can.
Oh, it's fine.
There, put it there under the water.
All right. Tell us about them, Amelia.
Oh my goodness, they're so cute. I can't remember what they're called.
Nudibranchs.
Okay, nudibranchs. And when they go in the water, at the front they have these little horn-like looking things.
Called rhinophores.
Yes. And then in the back they have their gills. Looks like a flower on the back of
It
them
does.
almost.
It does.
Yeah, they're super cute.
Hey.
Oh, wow. Just amazing.
Give it to Gabby, put him under the water.
She just crashed the nudie party.
Oh, little babies.
So this was saying are my favorite. Go ahead and put your hands out. Okay, but put your hands together because you got to get make a cup. No, I'm sorry. Make a cup. Yeah, with both hands probably. Yeah, because to make them come out a little bit, you gotta have water. Okay. So try and hold it in there. Let's see, wait a second. He'll relax. Okay, so see on this end, two little are coming out, right?
Oh man, she's adorable. They're so cute.
All right, and then what we're gonna look for in the back end here are the gills. The white gills are gonna
Hands-on learning. I love it.
Oh! Nubbin! He's got a little nubbin.
He's a little nubbin.
Wow, look at you.
Okay.
So how nerdy am I?
And how tired was I? Pretty bad. But closure. Here we go. Closure.
Okay. Our big takeaway, student-centered learning. So again, we don't know what you observed, but we sometimes throw that term and best practices around a lot. But for me, in this particular case, I like to use the word provocation. So if you will, what I essentially did, and maybe it wasn't overtly there in the video, but I gave the girls a provocation. Find things, find critters, and then think about it. Where are they found and why do you think they're there? And then go. And we just let them go wherever they wanted to go. So I didn't give them any specific direction about you have to look at this or you have to go under here or you have to look for it a certain way or look for this zonation or anything like that. I just said go. And they did it at their own pace in their own way.
Alexa Riley, please come to the front office.
That's fun.
Alexa Riley, please come to the front office.
We're teachers. Maybe we should back that up a quick second and I'll cut that out. Or are we just going to keep talking and
Just
just
keep
let
talking.
that go? All right, so that's fine. You totally understand about the whole bell thing and everything going on. Okay. So she lets them go and just says, go and find things. And what I am observing as I'm standing there and I'm watching them, I'm holding the camera, the really, really cool thing is that when kids are able to find their own learning, when it is student-based learning, they're learning at their own pace and they're learning things that they want to learn. And from that, they have a greater depth of understanding of what it is that they're learning. So for example, you saw in there, some of the kids are in a group and they're holding this limpet. Yeah, that
The giant keyhole limpet, the thing that I like reached way underneath the shelf to grab.
Yeah, and so they're all holding that and they're like holding it in their hand and they're feeling it. It's kind of like almost like a group-based work that they're doing right there. They're talking about it.
They were asking the questions.
Right.
Right? And I was just pointing out what the anatomy was and so on, but I was letting them ask what they wanted to know about it.
Right. And so then that was interesting for them. You didn't see it in there, but we had one student who was not like on the beach, but pretty far back. And she was on her own and she was doing her own thing. And she was totally learning. She sat there at one of the small pools and she just sat there and observed and learned a lot from that experience.
One of the things I do like to do when I have kids for a longer period of time over multiple days in tide pools is force them to just sit down and see, because the longer you're there, the more you see. So sometimes we just walk past the pool.
So true.
We there's the obvious thing, and we move on. But after an amount of time, certain behaviors and interactions, and not just biological interactions, but interactions between them and their environment begin to unveil themselves. So again, it was her learning style. That was how her brain worked, and that's the way she wanted to do it.
There was another student on there, if you remember, who was fully immersed in the water. And that's how she wanted to learn. She wanted to get all the way up in there.
All up in its business.
She threw that sweatshirt out too. You remember that?
Yeah.
She's like, I don't even care because this is what I want to do. And the sweatshirt means absolutely nothing to me. And so that was a lot of fun.
Yeah. So I guess our encouragement to you is think of ways in which students can direct the learning. And we make it sound easy because, we were on we don't call this a field trip. We actually call this a field experience where they're actually collecting data and recording what they're seeing and doing. It's not just, hey, it's not a one-off. Just go there and enjoy, yay, move on. Because what you don't know after the fact is many of the girls came to me and said, okay, so what was that critter? They said, well, that's a nudibranch. Well, what was the name of it? Well, here's a field guide. Find it, name it, classify it. And they were like, oh, yeah. So again, we make it sound easy because we were in this beautiful place where we could just say, go look, but you can make that happen in your classroom. So enrich your environment, make it more provocation oriented, just laying out essential questions for your standards instead of just peanuts about teacher style.
And I'll just give you this is just making me think of something I did in my classroom today. Super quick for you, something that you could do in your classroom. We're reading a book in our classroom, and rather than me saying, I want you to talk about this question, I say, think about the different, of course, we're a Christian school, so for me, I say, think about the different fruits of the Spirit, and where did you see that in the reading today? Go. And then they have a whole conversation about what they saw, and every single student in this room came up with something totally different, and that made the conversations so much more enriching than if I had said, you must talk about this.
Right. And I'm sure what you did is you created a culture of safety where you're not looking for a right or wrong answer.
Exactly.
And not saying that all answers are correct or in a subjective sort of way or a relativistic sort of way, but you're wanting to you want them to reflect what they're thinking and feeling in the moment.
Yeah. So
cool.
Well, that wraps up.
There it is.
Episode number 2, student-based learning.
Student-centered learning.
Yeah. And so probably have lots of those.
There's a lot of different ways to make it hands-on. You don't have to be a science teacher to make it hands-on like you talked about today.
Yeah, so.
Cool.
All right, good luck. Have fun trying it out.
All right.
Check out the feather boa kelp. It looks exactly like a boa. Oh yeah, baby. That's fantastic.